Good morning. This is Brian with Forest Hills Memorials. It's Friday, March 22nd. I'm still down here in Georgia, and I'm just at the local grocery store here. They have a coffee thing on the inside because my hotel coffee tastes like dog water. So I've been coming here to get a cup of coffee in the morning. So it's early. I left the hotel at like a little after 7. Our class today doesn't start till 8. I think I took enough video yesterday to where yesterday is probably going to end up being a part 1 of this trip. I don't want to make a 3-4 hour long video. So this might be the second video. So today we're doing a lot like what we had done yesterday. We'll be doing a lot of shop work. We're meeting at the same place, but 8 o'clock we actually are touring a granite quarry. So that's going to be awesome. It's going to be fun to see where everything starts, where the granite is pulled from the ground and how it's pulled from the ground and what equipment they're using and the style and technique they're cutting it out of the ground. So we're going to go hopefully do that. I'm assuming we're all just going to drive there. I am going to get something to eat probably, and I'm debating on that. I'm not hungry at all, but I know by the time I get done moving around, I'll get hungry in an hour or two. So might get something to eat before we go and head over there and get this day started. And update, so day 2 after swinging a 3-pound hammer just with my forearms all day yesterday, it's sore. So man, coming down here in March is great just because it's typically a slower time for us. Usually snow on the ground, usually it's the slow time of year. This year it hasn't been. I've been out and about setting stuff, but even with that, not regularly swinging hammers like that and not sawing a bunch of stuff. So arms and lower back are feeling it today. So we'll just go tackle it again the best we can, trying to decide if I want to keep what I'm working on as my project or start over. So originally I wanted to take a piece that was kind of a triangle and just completely carve it out into a mountain scene. I think that might be a little bit over the top for my skill level, but when I told my leader yesterday what I wanted to do with the piece I had, he just kind of raised his eyes and was like, this is your first time doing this, and I think it's coming out pretty good. Everybody that comes around is pretty impressed with it. So I don't know, it's all in your head, I guess. So we'll see where we go, but we'll go. I don't think we're gonna be starting on the projects until 10:30. So looking forward to get this quarry trip on the road. We'll see ya when we get started. Well, got water to put in there. Careful. A long way. Man.
We'll do it around the corner where there's a pond up. Ain't no climbing up the wall to get out.
No. How far do you think that is? It'd be a little better if you're over water. That's a pretty hard bottom. Yeah, it's crazy. How long do you think this fence has been here?
I suppose it's the 60s.
Crazy that this must be like the original part with all the weathering on the stone, and then newer area over here where it's much cleaner.
Yeah, they still got plenty over here.
Man, this is soft right there. Break a chunk off.
Yeah, without the cork strip.
If you guys have questions,
Yeah.
Phil's the industry expert.
That's what the IRS says anyway.
So y'all are going, what direction are y'all going
Yeah.
here?
So right now they're making a right-hand turn. And you can envision they're just gonna make a right-hand turn and then come back this way and come get it
Get all this.
basically all the way to that wall over there. Yep.
Not in our lifetime, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you from in the last 10 years they basically went from they were on that ledge all the way back, and then that wall was about where the first ledge is down on the bottom. Imagine it being
Straight up.
all the way up.
So y'all not gonna run out of stone.
No.
They pump the water out of
This is a slow process when you put it relative to like crushed stone quarries and limestone quarries, marble. I mean, this stuff moves way slower.
I had a question about water. Somebody did.
Who said something about water?
Do they like pump the water out or what?
Yeah, did you see it going across the road? So that's pumping out at the bottom.
I guess they just constantly run.
It doesn't constantly run. No, it's not running every time we come in. But we've been having a lot of rain. We got about 4.5 inches. It's going to rain today. We've been getting a lot of rain at one time.
Fill up the water.
Yeah.
So
If we get rain over several days, things like that, it's not that bad. But when you get 4 or 5 inches in a day, day and a half,
How deep is it where that water is?
maybe half a ledge. It's not very deep.
Do they operate in the rain or they shut it down?
No, they shut down. Yep.
How often are y'all pulling up blocks you can't use or sections that is it at? What's the ratio?
The recovery rate's usually 50 to 70% now. So we about 30%, 30 to 40% gets set aside over that hill over there. We call it grout.
How long after you pull it out does it take to realize it's good or bad? Like the grader looks
They grade it, or Lance over there, he's grading it as soon as he pulls it up. They got a good idea of what it's going to be when it's
They know
when
what
they get out. They know what they're moving through. That's what we want back now.
Somebody down there.
You see this wall right here? Over here, see all these drill marks? It's called split face. So back in the day, when they started, this is obviously very close to the top. So you imagine this being, when they started, they would drill all of those holes and pretty much just break everything with pressure or shims and wedges, you know, sledgehammer work. So once we move further into technology, you see the smooth. Well, see these walls over here? It look like they got the wave. That's burning. That's channel burning.
Oh, and the torque.
As you move down
See how
and back,
technology progresses as you move through quarry.
and you can see now the smooth walls are wire saw. And they actually, you can see a little bit of a swirl because the wire saw pulls, you know, like this the whole time as this is pulling. So you can see more of a swirl for that.
They pull that whole rectangle out at once. Like the rectangles you see, is that all one
No,
piece they're
they
pulling?
break it out and they bring it out block by block by block.
So
Just
similar
like
to
what-
the size
what he just
that's,
put on that
yeah.
truck.
How much does that weigh on its truck, do you think?
Those are anywhere from 12 to 15 tons per, so you're looking at about 30 to 35,000 pounds. The truck can haul 40,000, 42,000.
So how much do you think one of the large rectangles you see weighs?
Well, let's just do the math on it. You know, it's about 12 foot deep. 10 to 12 foot deep, about 40 foot back. Looking at 24 feet wide.
I haven't had enough coffee yet to figure.
165 pounds a cubic foot. So
it's too big a number.
it's like 40. And you got to get that cube square. It's about 165 a cubic foot. You get the volume on each side.
How many men day to day does it take to operate?
Most of our quarries run between 6 to 10 guys, and the quarries are smaller. And I'll give y'all a little bit of a lesson on MSHA, the Mine Safety Health Administration. They govern the quarries like OSHA governs your shop, but with MSHA, they are mandated by law, the Mine Act, to inspect an above-ground quarry 2 times a year. So that an inspector has to come here, federal inspector has to come here twice a year and do a full safety inspection. If he finds anything, he has to write it a violation. It comes with a penalty, and you must abate all violations. So you have to fix the problem. You don't get to, you don't get to let them leave and then them come back and you just fix it when you want to. Before he closes out, you have to abate the problem. So 2 times a year they're going to show up. They can show up every day of the year if they want to. So if you have a pattern of violation, they can just camp out here, and the law allows them to. So these guys are very safety conscious, and we have a thing called Small Mines and Education Services, which is a division within MSHA. Department of Labor has 2 arms, OSHA and MSHA. You get a Secretary of Labor for OSHA and a Secretary of Labor for MSHA. So when MSHA comes in, they do an inspection, you get a citation or you get a clean bill of health. Well, once these guys start getting different inspectors, they may focus on different things. You know, you might get a good clean inspection. So it's not the most consistent thing, but it gives you objective viewpoints from different inspectors. So one guy may overlook things, one guy may not overlook things. So it's kind of inconsistent. But the inspection process allows for a little bit of give and take. And a small operator gets an aggregate weighted scale system for fines. Because you can realize that a multi-million-dollar corporation that owns multiple quarries, they're expected to be better at safety, honestly. They're expected to do better, and their fines will be higher, honestly, because it was designed to protect the small operator, the mom and pops like we have here. So these quarries, if they have 10 or less employees, they fall under Small Mines and Education Services. Well, there's a program, like I said, there's a program for that, and it comes with a guy who comes out and assists them with all of their safety program, their policies, their training plans. He comes out and he goes through that with them. If they have questions, they have anything they need to look at, he can come out and help them and consult with them. Large corporations, they can't do that. They're expected to have their own safety team, their own safety professionals to take care of that.
Probably
kind
on
of thing.
staff, right?
On staff. Yeah, that's what they're looking for. So here, if you keep your quarries under 10 employees, you get those services. Plus, if you get a citation when you go to contest that or go to court, it will be reduced based on your revenue, number of employees, and your history of violations. So if you haven't had any trouble and you just have this one thing happen, you know, you get a fine, you can go in there and they'll make it fit your business so that it does not put you out of business.
Put you out.
Now,
So
anything deemed unwarrantable failure, which means imminent danger, Unwarrantable failure means there's no excuse. A man could die under whatever conditions they find. That really doesn't really get, reduced.
Yeah.
Those types of things are looked at the same across the board. You're expected to protect your employees.
So they're gonna do a blast. Do you know which one if they're around the corner, or if they might be doing one? We'll see.
How much do these laborers get paid?
Say it again.
How much do these cats get paid?
Most of these quarries start at $20 an hour and up. So they're all getting pretty decent pay. Crane operators average about $30 to $35, and he's sitting up in that crane all day, but he has a lot of responsibility. If that crane, if he does anything wrong, he could kill somebody dropping a block. He can swing it right, swing it left, cause major issues. Now, he's one of the top guys, paid guys here. Of course, Fire in the hole.
That was quick.
So much for warning us before.
Yeah, no kidding.
Fire in
Where's
the hole.
that?
They give you plenty of time to get out the way. Huh?
They got a
Fire in the hole.
All of us deaf people out here.
they got a porta potty.
So that's shooting the hard way,
So that was
guys.
the back. That was the back.
That
side?
was the back side of the block.
The
That's
back
what
of
we
the-
call the hard way.
Just thinking, I'm like,
On the
wonder how
bottom
loud
of the
this
big
is.
section is lifting the block.
10, 15
Shooting the
minutes.
back
maybe.
side is called shooting the hard way.
So when they lift it, the block actually
Y'all didn't
elevates.
move.
Yep,
Y'all
it'll lift up and
seen
it
the
sits
jump.
right back
Y'all
there.
expected it.
I did one of these. I've been on 20 of these tours. I've never seen a blast.
Did you get that on your GoPro?
Yeah. Yeah, I was looking right at it. I got you jump a foot off the ground too.
Like
Don't edit that part out.
What determines how deep they go? I mean, does the vein eventually
Pressure.
run out, or they just
Pressure.
Okay.
Good question. A lot of people ask this question. Why do we go to a certain depth? You'll notice when you go to Bobby's, been a few of them, they're all about the same depth. The earth has its own internal pressure. Treat it like a wound. You open it up, it wants to close itself back up. The earth has its own internal pressure, so it's constantly pushing. It may be pushing from all sides, one side. These guys will tell stories of breaking that block loose or lifting a block, and it be one that's not relieved on all sides. They come back the next morning, it's been pushed out 6 inches.
Jeez.
How do those guys are so close to that blast? Are they standing behind something?
They were all the way to the right.
They were all up in that corner,
Okay.
and they all have dual hearing protection on. They have
okay.
plugs in their ears and muffs over their ears.
You got some shockwave, ain't nothing to really be worried about.
I don't know. I felt it from here, so
That's
shit.
what I'm saying.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's a lot to be that close to.
What are they doing there with that long? They putting more explosives in?
No.
Separating it from that's so they can get around it.
I really don't know what he's doing.
You can hear something.
Yeah. I thought it was
I
water.
almost feel water, yeah. How much does that crane lift?
That's a good question.
That one is, it's not a 200 ton. It looks like a 150 to me.
So if it doesn't break out, is it, they have to recharge again?
What's that?
If it doesn't break the first time?
Yeah, they'd shoot it again. All that shot.
So that crane can grab that whole thing, or do they gotta split
No,
it?
they're going to break it.
Split
They
it down?
Always, the crane's only going to lift anything out, 10 to 15 tons.
Okay.
You got to realize that crane can only lift its max capacity
Straight vertical.
basically straight up. You start booming down, and that your weight capacity starts reducing drastically.
Yeah.
They put dog holes in each side of the block. You'll see them.
They'll pick it up like a piece of ice in the corner. Yep.
to lift.
Yeah.
So a Lewis pin, you put one hole in the top center,
Oh my goodness.
and no, a Lewis pin is just one.
We used 2 and put a chain through it.
Okay.
Like that.
Well, yeah, you're using
Yeah.
the friction. So a Lewis pin goes in straight down, and then it has a wedge. We'll have to go over there and look at it honestly. But it's a cylinder straight down, and part of it's wedged, and it has a pin that with a little cable on it. When you pull that pin, it releases. But whenever that thing pulls up, that wedge in there basically grabs friction. Yep. And it pulls it straight from the center.
What kind of explosives are they using?
Primer cord.
Power cord?
Yeah. Det cord is what we call it.
It's got this thing called petting inside of it. It's just as explosive as C4.
C4.
That's what I was going to
But
ask. Is it like a C4 type thing?
It's
It's in a piece of weed eater cord, basically.
Oh, really?
It's traced through that cord.
How big is it?
Well, most of it we run it. It's just same size as a weed eater cord.
Really?
Yeah.
It's got that much
Yeah.
kick.
I'm trying to think of the guy's name. There's some guy with some YouTube videos. I use them for we certify these guys to blast. We have a blaster certification course. So I have to have ATF and a blasting engineer come in and do a refresher course for these guys every year. So I've been building in these videos, anything to showcase how destructive it is. Like, it looks like it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But when you shoot this stuff in super slow-mo camera, with super slow camera, you can see the energy is incredible in this stuff. That cord will basically blow as it runs in the line, even though it sounds instantaneous, it actually runs the line. And it'll have a ball of energy, a ball of fire, this big around it the whole way. So that's what's actually breaking the stone.
what do they do? Do they like take the bit cord, make like a knot slider, or you a knot
Yeah.
slider or something? Just put it all
goes
down there?
down in, comes right back up. So 40's actually shooting 80 in the same hole.
Crazy, something that small can put off.
Watch those videos, and he wraps cars and fruit.
What's
you
his
know.
name?
Can't remember the name of it. Just
I'll
look
look it
up
up.
det cord
Det
videos.
cord,
This
yeah.
guy.
If you want to see yourself jump a foot off the ground, you'll be on my YouTube channel doing that.
Yeah, I'd love to. Show my wife. I've done my boots. Yeah, I thought we were gonna get a warning or something.
You did.
Yeah,
Blast.
the half a second before.
Waiting on.
Like I said, he blew a horn, but he didn't hear it. I didn't hear it.
I didn't hear
I
it.
didn't
Does anybody have any other questions for Matthew while we're here? Otherwise, we can get back to carving. We're gonna have some weather this afternoon, so get everything you need inside.
Oh, that's what. Wait a minute. He's actually they're gonna shoot again if y'all want to watch him shoot again. That's what he's using. He's pushing that cord down in there with that thing.
Get that video on.
They'll shoot multiple hard blades. Yeah, that way they only
Why
have
don't you go stand in front of the camera so we can get you jump twice?
yeah, he's put more cord in.
Can we get you right there, right in front of
They
me?
use that thing. See what
Are
I
they
was
doing
saying?
that?
This cord
See you
goes.
jumping twice.
It'll start on that end, and this piece of cord, and it goes down in. Within that same cord comes right back up. So what he's doing is using that stick, that slinky, to shove it down to the bottom, run it over to the next one. So if he's got 40 grain prime core going there, it's actually 80 in the hole because it's one down,
yeah.
one up.
Gotcha.
Wear the sides, and the sides mainly, but they can saw the bottom too.
All right, so I'm here at my home little office here editing this video. It's been a little while since I got back from Georgia, but I'm already inching close to a half an hour on this video just with this quarry tour. There's a bunch of stuff that I'm gonna still edit out in that, but thinking about cutting it off here. I'm gonna cut it off here. It's already a pretty long video. I'm not even into the full day's worth of work. I've got a bunch of other videos to go through, so we're gonna leave this one as a kind of a quarry tour video. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks to all the new subscribers. It's always amazing that people like watching this stuff. So quarry tour down in Elberton, Georgia, just a couple of weeks ago, and the next video I'll do will be more work in the shop on that mountain piece I was talking to you about. So thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.